I wanted to talk about the importance of having a treat pouch when we're training with our dogs. Now, sometimes people might think that having a bowl full of treats is pretty fine and they can sit down on the ground and train with their dog there, but this is confusing for a number of reasons from your dog's perspective. Because first of all, millions of dogs are bowl fed, and so when a dog sees a bowl of food, then naturally they can think that's for them. And you can see with Marco here, he's very eager to come towards me because I've got a bowl of food, and this can also mean that you're going to be more inclined to push your dog away or verbally reprimand them, and that's confusing because then we're creating conflicting and confusing messages around food. So the best thing to do if you have a bowl of treats and you're wanting to do a training session with your dog is just let them have the treats and let them eat in peace. Come back later with your treat pouch and do a training session. So from your dog's perspective, it is confusing. Okay, you've got the treats right in front of you and they're clearly visible and accessible. So as I mentioned, that's a source of conflict and confusion for your dog, and it doesn't help your dog to be calm around food, and it doesn't help them to understand that they don't need to protect or guard food. And so that's a very important point. So always having a treat pouch where you've got your treats securely contained is the best way when you're structuring a training session with your dog. So from your dog's perspective, also, if you have a bowl of treats sitting in front of you, you're more likely to have your hands dangling in the bowl rather than having both hands free. And you need both hands free because you need one hand for the clicker and then one hand to obviously reward from your treat pouch when you've marked the behaviour that you're looking for from your dog when you're doing a training session. So from your dog's perspective, it's confusing, but of course, from our perspective, we don't have both hands free. We don't have our treats secure in a safe spot, and we don't have the flexibility of being able to use our hands. And so from those points of view, it makes sense to have a treat pouch when you're training with your dog. So it's also important that when we're using a treat pouch, it's more likely that we're going to be proactive just in general when it comes to food and food in everyday situations where our dog might be in that environment. And so it's going to be we're going to be less inclined to leave food lying around on countertops, because remember, if our dog can access a countertop and steal a scrap of food, that's self-rewarding behaviour. So once again, using a treat pouch helps develop us with a lifestyle and a mindset that we're going to be more proactive around food generally in everyday situations where our dog's concerned. And when we're preparing for our training session, so what we want to have our treat pouch, of course, we want to have our eye clicker, some high quality value treats, and we want to have our start cue, which is really important. We have our training session, and then of course, the most important thing is to make sure we have a finish cue for our dog so they understand that the training session is finished and no more treats are coming. Well, I hope you enjoyed this very short video on the importance of making sure that we have a treat pouch when we're training with our dogs. And from Marco and me, it's bye for now. Come on, Marco, let's go.